I need these. Like, I would read them all day. Like, it says, poor people are essentially to blame for being poor. Successful people aren't primarily talented. They're just lucky. All right, we're recording right now. And who I was supposed to be. I got shot right after my 24th birthday. And so let me see. I got shot right after my 24th birthday. And it left me paralyzed from the waist down forever. Through 3 years of depression and learning how to overcome obstacles, my mindset changed. Once my mindset changed, I became a creator. I became passionate about my dreams. I learned how to follow my dreams and pursue them. And the best part about it was that if I could overcome obstacles through being paralyzed, then I was basically unstoppable. And that's when I just realized that, everything that you could do basically anything when you put your mind to it. Let me check one.
You want to see them?
Cuz.
So this brand is called the School of Life.
Okay.
And they have a website and a podcast and like a curriculum helping people understand emotional intelligence.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
big
strong.
goal, right?
Right.
Cool
Oh
goal.
Man, emotional intelligence. I need these. Like, I would read them all day. Like, it says, poor people are essentially to blame for being poor. Successful people aren't primarily talented. They're just lucky. So it's like, this is strong for me because it says successful people aren't primarily talented. They're just lucky. I don't even see success as luck. I see success as hard work. Mm-hmm. I don't see talent in success. Like, I see just someone working hard every day to do what they believe in. Poor people are essentially to blame for being poor. I don't feel like that's so true. In a way you can say, it's like, what is poor? You know what I mean? Like, that would be the question. Like, what do people think is poor? Because to me, I could have nothing and be the richest person, in my heart, in my mind, everything, so it's all about your mindset. It's about what makes you happy, what makes you feel like you're worth it. This would be so dope, like, because it start making you think, what is rich? You know what I mean? Like, is rich wealthy? You know what I mean? Like, or is rich just, loving yourself, doing more? Like, is it hard work? Because some rich people are unhappy.
They're so unhappy.
So it's like,
they don't know what they're doing all this rich stuff for.
Exactly. They just want, they have different morals to what they, I want this fancy car, this nice thing, and it's like, you see some people like Gary Vee, they got money, but still you never know what kind of car he drives. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. Like, that's dope to me. He drives Uber, he'd rather put money in somebody else's pocket to take him around every day. Like, and he's, you could say he's rich, but how rich is he when he's giving out all the game? He's not keeping it for himself. He's literally telling people the game every day.
Yeah, I would be here for his game.
Right. I leveled up once I started listening to him,
Right.
every morning. What are or would be my faults as a parent? My faults as a parent would be not showing my daughter how to be independent, not knowing how to care for yourself, not knowing how to love yourself and accept yourself despite all your flaws. Like, if I could not accomplish that, that would be a fault for me because I strongly believe in loving who you are. So that would be something that I want to teach my daughter because she would become like unstoppable in life when you can accept everything about yourself, and that helps you not worry about what other people think. You know, the way you think of yourself is more important than the way others think of you. But a lot of people focus on what others think of them before they think about themselves. So yeah, I like this. Oh, it's called Know Yourself. Hey, I didn't know that. I thought you was that's dope. Know yourself, right? Like,
great idea, man. I love
this
it.
hey man, this is like, hey, I can know more about myself just by talking about
I'll get
it.
you a pair. I'll just let you keep it with you.
In what way is your partner quite annoying? Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's not
Exactly.
that you have to wake up at 6. It's that you have to have something that burns so you get
Yeah,
up at
yeah,
6.
it breeds you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to me, you know, my daughter, you know, she wakes up at 6 a.m. for school. So it's like, do I wake up right when she get up? Or do I prepare myself in the morning before she get up? So that means maybe she goes to sleep at 8, I go to sleep at 10. Or I go to sleep at 12, but I make sure I'm up at 5. And you know what I mean? Like, and I get some rest when I need it. But I've learned that over, certain hours of, your sleep session that are more important than other hours. You know, I learned that listening to like different podcasts. So I think it's like from 10 to 2. It's like the best time to sleep. So it's like, if I can get from 12 to 2, at least I feel like I got a little bit of that energy. But it's, but no, man, I literally, to me, it's like setting that example. If I'm up at 5, then I got everything done. I done packed her lunch, you know what I mean? Like, got breakfast ready, like everything. So when she gets up at 6, we're not butting heads, getting in the bathroom or anything. Like, I'm back laying down, starting to post my inspiration for everybody else during the day because I've already set that tone for the day for myself. And then my daughter is able to wake up and say, dang, my daddy's been up all this time. You know what I mean? She don't know how long I've been up, but in her mind, she's like, he's been up, because he's dressed. He's ready for the day, like breakfast, so she has her own daily routine. So by 6:40, she's like, she don't even come. She said, good morning. And she gets dressed, she makes up her bed, she does all this, and then she go reads a book for 20 minutes and she eat breakfast at 7. It's a strict routine, you know what I mean? And to me, it's like, man, I'm setting that example by me having a routine, every day. And saying, okay, this is your routine. I knew that I had to be stronger for her. I knew that my purpose in life wasn't about me. It was about me showing strength to someone that sees me as weak at that moment. I'm her superhero. She looked at my wheelchair as like her Superman chair. That's what she used to call it. And I had to amount to being Superman to my daughter. Like, I had to exceed those expectations for her to see me as Superman. You call my chair Superman. You call it the Superman chair. But I'm sitting there weak like Batman. No, I'm just playing. But, so.
Don't do it, Batman.
I know, right?
My faves.
Yeah, but, it's Ben Affleck now, Like, but that was what it was, man. I really just had to be stronger for my daughter. Like, there wasn't, I didn't want to do, it wasn't nobody else I thought about besides her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm her father, and I had that position in her life to be that strong man. If I was weak, then she would choose a weak man as she grew up. I couldn't allow that.
Yeah.
So I show so much strength that she don't know who to choose when she get older. She like, I don't know. My daddy not gonna approve for you. So,
Yeah.
But that's the way I wanted it. I wanted to raise that bar, and not only for myself, but for her expectations of what she see as a man. So
Totally.
yeah. So yeah, and I know you'll be able to chop and hit the keys, but I'll try to make sure it's strong points. It's always gonna be that way because when I talk about my story, it is just my daughter. You know what I mean? It is just her. You know, I do this for her. You know, I every day I grind and inspire people. It's to show her that you have to start caring about people other than yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Despite what your situation is, you might have one leg, two legs. You know, you could be walking, you could be paralyzed, but you literally have to always think about someone else could be in a worse position than you, and how can you make their day better, which ultimately makes yours better, and that's me. You know, so contribution. Well, it's kind of the same. You know, growth. So contribution, growth, love, empowering,
Those emotions that you want to
and
feel.
positivity. You know, I feel like those are 5 things that are important, because I want to love. I want to teach people how to love. I want to empower. I want to teach people how to grow, but I also want to grow myself, because I believe in growth every day. Contribution, because there's nothing in this world that I wouldn't want to give to someone else that I have. Like, whether it's knowledge, whether it's passion, whether it's positivity, I don't want to keep it for myself. So if it's not a dime, if I can give you something to put a smile on your face, then that's what I want to do. Yeah. And then it's just positivity. Like, positivity is a stronghold for me. And so it says, how much of your time do you give to each of these? I feel like I get it all of these every day. As soon as I wake up in the morning, like that list of 5 things, from love, passion will be 6. Like,
Yeah.
contribution, growth, empower, and positivity. Like, yeah, I like this.
That's for like at Union Station.
In your worst fears, what might your colleagues at work be criticizing you behind your back? Think about that when until you come. And then
I got some gifts for you, Ryan.
Hold on. Yeah, so we just in here working.
For sure.
So, yep, we got some things to help stimulate the mind, Craig.
No, I like that question.
These questions.
Hold on. Nope. Let me get it right. What would you ideally like someone to feel compassionate towards you for? What would it be beautiful if they could forgive?
If they could forgive, why do you think you meaning your parents, were the way they were? What were the pressures and difficulties your parents were under?
I think I feel like my mom was the way she was because she had to raise 3 kids on her own. So a single mother.
How old was she?
And she was young. So like she had me when she was 18, but I was the last one.
So she had 2 before you?
Yeah, so I think she probably started at 16, 15.
Have you ever asked her how difficult that was for her?
No, in the household, African American household, they tell you, like, you heard it all the time how hard it was. I couldn't, but I remember getting on the bus and, her having 3 kids on the metro. I remember, her trying to, work in different environments, but still, the stress of her, like you could really tell, it was hard. I mean, as I feel like one of my good talents, or advantages is memory. Like I have a good memory, like great memory, and so I can remember those facial expressions. I can remember those emotions. I can remember those hard times of trying to make ends meet. But I think it all came from being young and being a parent, trying to grow up too soon, and then having that responsibility. So like she didn't have the ability to, focus on her own life, and so it's like, I can hold that against her, but then it's like, if I had a kid at 15 or 16, I don't think I wouldn't be worried about my own success either. I only had to focus on my kid. Right. But then like my dad, on the other hand, he was older, and his problem was just being a man and just not trying to take care of his responsibility. You know, he was out there popping babies. I think my daddy got a total of like 5 or 6 kids. So I always say because he got step kids that he had took in.
Right.
But when he was, when I was younger, it was kind of like in and out. He was more focused on his own life instead of his kids, and that's normally society these days. Like you see a lot of men, walking out because they feel like regardless of what the woman has to be responsible enough, and that's where I had to change the game.
Right.
Like I had to be the one responsible. I like my daughter could have stayed with her mom, but who would say that she would be raised the way that she is by me, and now she's 8 years old and can see opportunity, and she's doing her own videos and stuff on her tablet and stuff, making nutrition videos, and
Wow.
it's crazy. I actually, she never tells me, so I was just going through her tablet one day, and I'm like, you've been making videos, and then I started listening to them, and it showed me what I've been teaching. You know what I mean? She talked about what she ate that day and the reason why she ate it, and
Wow.
yeah, it was crazy. And she was just giving nutritional tips to kids. I'm like, oh man, this is pretty dope. So I don't think that she would know that or had that mentality if if she stayed with her mom. I think it would just be kind of, go play in the room with the games and stuff. But for me, it's like teaching you how to create your own opportunity, telling you that you can run an empire at 12 if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so
I'm
I'm gonna look at that question. I'm gonna answer it for myself because I know it'll be completely different. What negative character flaws do you fear in your worst nightmares that other people have spotted about you? I think for me, a negative character flaw would be emotion. Like I back so much up through like positivity that I can get emotional quick when negativity flows in my way. It's like from being an emotional putting it in an emotional standpoint, it brings out anger because you're too much in your feelings. You know what I mean? And that's when it's like trying to, because other people have spotted me being too emotional about a situation. And I think it's just I guess my weakness would be caring too much. Like I want to see good in people, and so it bothers me when they can't see it in themselves or take their advice and I think that's one of my strongest weaknesses, as well as like a negative character flaw, is really being too caring, and it kind of goes back to like what you said, okay, yeah, you have that power strength, like you want, like, but if I had that mentality plus caring,
Yeah.
then maybe I could kind of have the ability to like be stronger in certain situations where my emotions don't show.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like my emotions can just show at times, and I know I'm working on it because it's better. But if I had to look at anybody, it'd be like my daughter. It would have to be someone that's really close to you, that you want to see them do so much more and so much better by you setting that example. And maybe they don't follow through with it at that time that you see, and you can get into like an emotional like rant, and then it seems like your anger comes out or something like that. Like, so yeah, I think for me, yeah, it's more of emotion, and emotion is probably one of my most weakest flaws.
What do you say before, like, you got shot? How would you have answered that question?
I wasn't emotional. I didn't care about nobody. I didn't even really care about myself. You know what I mean? So.
Would you have said that about yourself then?
No. I mean, back then, I hid it better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I guess now I have a heart.
Yeah.
It's different. You know what I mean? Like, now I care so much. and I opened up my heart for people. But back then I was like Armarion, you know, like it was an ice box where my heart used to be, you know, like, you know, so, right. And I think that, you know, because I never smiled. I never showed my happiness before my accident. You know, like I wasn't happy with life, or you wouldn't tell, you know. I was just always mean mugging the camera. I always flipped off the camera in pictures. Like it was just...
Really?
Yeah.
That's so hard to like picture.
I know, right?
Today talking to you right now.
Hey, you know what? I've always thought about having like a hard like throwback session on like Instagram or something like.
I honestly would love
You know what I mean? Like this is me before, like growing up, and just like every picture it was like like it was crazy.
What were you trying to communicate with? I mean, obviously you still had something. I want to be, you know, something with my life. What was the difference with what you wanted to communicate?
I just didn't think, you know, I put so much negativity in my mind. Rather it was like through certain music or, you know, so I had this hate for the world that really didn't hate me. You know what I mean? Just so I didn't allow people to accept, or, you know, I just didn't show nobody who I really was. I hid it. You know, it was a shell over me. So I think that's why, you know, when I can get emotional and things now and I care so much is because I show people who I am. You know, but back then, you know, I didn't. So people just call me mean all the time. Like if you ever talk to somebody back and they be like, yeah, how was Wes back then? They like, man, he was mean as hell. Like you wouldn't, you know, so those are the moments when I find people in my past and they say, man, you really show me how one person can change because of how you were before. You know, so that's, you know, when we look at that and look at, you know, before and after, like emotion now, but back then it wasn't, you know what I mean? And if I was emotional, you never would have, you know, like even relationships, like, they be like, why you don't show no emotion? Because I ain't got none. You know what I mean? Like, be like, I love you. Love you too. You know, like, yeah. It wasn't no holding hands in the park. It wasn't none of that. Now I'm like, oh man, I wish I had somebody to hold their hand in the park. Like, it's different. And I think it just goes back to, man, really just knowing who you are, accepting who you are, and not caring about what other people think of you.
And cut.
Back then, I cared so much about what people thought of me that I didn't want to show them the real me. You know what I mean? I was in the wrong surroundings to just say, oh man, I just all about love, yeah. Like I'm in the hood, you know what I mean? Like I'm in the east side Kansas City, growing up around all these different types of images. You know what I mean? Like these people, my role models were drug dealers. You know, really. You know what I mean? Like that's all I seen. That was the richest person in my life that I ever seen when I was growing up. Was somebody with rims on the car. You know, like, so I couldn't show them like, man, oh, give me a hug. Like, you know, no. You know what I mean? Like it was never that.
We're gonna have to start doing that, like, and cut. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. We've been here 4 hours and we finally got what the main thing we were gonna do. It's a wrap.